How's it going, guys? We're gonna be doing today a body swap. Basically, we got an old NR83 A2 model, and the customer wants a new body. Basically, his bolts from here are stripped, and I'm gonna show you when I take these bolts out. They're stripped, so as we go in here, it doesn't tighten. Body itself is old already, so guy likes his gun, but he wants a new body on it. So we're gonna go ahead and install a new body, and I'm gonna show you how we're gonna do that and the process of it. All right, so the first thing I do is I go grab a number 5 hex. We're gonna take the back end out. Start with that. See that one stripped. So we got that top cover off, and we're gonna reuse this top cover. It's still good condition, but the body itself is already gone. So I'm gonna show you that real quick. So as you see, those bolts are stripped inside, so there's no way for me to retighten that top cover, and it just makes the bolts very loose, and then you get air leak coming through here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the next step. I usually like to just grab the old bolts that I just loosened up, put them on this cover up top, tighten them up a little, and then we go ahead and just twist, and it comes off just like that. We're gonna put that to a side, and then if you knock it in, it should pop out just like that. There's your cylinder. So we're gonna put that on the side also, and then from there, there's a inner part of the cylinder. I'm gonna show you that. It looks like that. And we're gonna remove that out, and then the spring that's inside, we're gonna remove that also. So I'm gonna show you. So we're gonna go ahead, we got this part off. We're gonna put that to a side too, and then we can go ahead and grab our spring that's inside. And we're gonna put that one also onto a side. And then there is this part. It's like a little plate that holds the spring down. It's like a ring. So that ring also we're gonna save because we're gonna reuse that ring. And then I work my way to the front now, and I start taking the front apart. So again, with our number 5, we're gonna remove these 2 side bolts. This one and this one. This one's gonna go only halfway out, not a fully, because it holds the spring that goes in the magazine. So this one fully, and this one half. And then we're gonna remove these 2 bolts that are on the back of the magazine that are holding this hook and the magazine to the body also. So on this gun specifically that I'm working on right now, it has 2 number 4 hex bolts and an 8mm little nut holding it. So that one's out. soon as we get those two out, this hook comes out. And you can remove the magazine. Put this one to a side also. Now, we're gonna go ahead and remove these pins that are on the side of the body. Let me show you. So there's two pins, one up here. This holds the nose piece from letting it go out. And then this second one holds this trigger. And we're gonna take that piece out also. First, I'm gonna work with that one. So I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna grab my hammer and my pin remover that is currently up here. There's the first pin. We're gonna put it right there. And then we're gonna go to our second pin. We're gonna put that one to the side also. So now since we did that, I'm gonna go ahead and remove the nose fully out. So I'm gonna grab my number 6 hex. By the way, these are metric, so 4 bolts. And then the nose comes out just like that. So these gaskets, there's one on the bottom that I took from the top cover, and then there's another one that goes on the nose. These are one-time use. As you see, they do not hold up. They rip, and then as soon as you apply pressure on them, it just becomes very tight and it squeezes together. So when you try to tighten it back up with the old gasket, you're just gonna have air leaks coming through. If it's not right now, as soon as you put it together, maybe in a couple days. So I recommend replace these. These are no good. So we're gonna throw these away. And then there's the bumper. So actually I noticed this gun did not have a driver in it. So we're gonna put a driver when we get back to it. So there's the bumper. We're gonna, yeah, it's a little cracked over there. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and replace the bumper. But I'm gonna put it to the side for now. So as soon as we do that, there is a little O-ring that's inside. I'll show you. It's an O-ring that is inside right there. We're gonna take that O-ring out and we're gonna replace it. Into the new one. Okay, so we got that O-ring out. As soon as we got that, since I already removed that pin that was over here, we can take the level part out. So put that to the side. Now what we gotta do is untwist this trigger valve out, and then as soon as we can take that out, we can take the other part of the trigger valve out also. So, oops. Okay, so we're gonna grab our hammer, and always lefty loosey, righty tighty right. We're gonna take it out. Make sure it's loosening up. As soon as that happens, you can just twist it off, just like that. And you got an O-ring that is right there. All these O-rings also, as soon as they were already put in, you don't want to reuse these O-rings. So I'm going to replace this O-ring when we go back and we start putting it together. And then now we can start taking out this trigger valve also out. And we got 2 more O-rings right there. 1, 2, and we're gonna replace those O-rings also when we're putting it back into the new body. And then there's this small little piece that goes inside the trigger valve. So we're gonna put that to a side. And a little spring. It looks just like that. We're gonna save that too because we're gonna reuse that. Now, what I like to do is there's a ball inside that valve, the second one. There's a ball inside there. And it's really hard to get. So I usually take my gun and I just flip it and then it should come out. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And there is the ball. So we're gonna put that to the side also. Now, there's a little ring inside there, the same place where I just took that ball. There's a little ring. I'm gonna go ahead and remove that ring. There we go. So I got that ring. And I'm gonna reuse this ring also. I'm trying to save as much parts as I can so I can reuse them. A lot of these, but some of these parts I'm gonna have to replace the O-rings in, just because it's one-time use mainly. You don't want to reuse bad O-rings, or you don't know if they're good or not. So you want to replace some, and then some of them that you know that will last, just you can go ahead and leave them. So as soon as we did that, now we have the whole this side of the body emptied. Now all we have left is this back cap where the fitting enters. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my number 4. And take these 3 bolts out. And should initially come out, it's pretty tight. Once again, there's a gasket right there. It's also, do not use them again. As soon as you try, see this one's an old one, it hasn't been replaced probably since the gun. As soon as you try to take it apart, it starts breaking. So we're gonna put a new gasket on the new gun, as long as we got this one clean. I like to go around the parts and grab a blade where the gaskets are gonna be. I'll grab a blade and see there's little gasket pieces. I like to shave them off. Make sure I got a clean surface when I'm putting on new gaskets. Just like that. So just so there's no way for the air just to slide through. Just like that. So we're gonna put this one to the side also. All right, so now we have an empty body. It's completely empty and is just a body that is garbage. So we're gonna throw this one away. So I got my new body here. It's an original body from METABO. Well, it used to be called Hitachi. Now it's called METABO HBT. So we're gonna grab our new body. There we go, and it's completely empty. We're gonna put it back in here, and we're gonna work our way backwards now. Starting from here, from the back where the fitting goes, to our trigger lever, to our triggers, the valves, and then we're gonna work our way back into the nose piece, and then we're gonna flip it and go backwards. All right, so I'm gonna go get those parts. So we went ahead and went backwards. We put this back cover on. We put the trigger valves back on, the trigger. We put the pins back in, and then the nose part, put a new gasket, a new bumper, put it back in there. Now we got left is put the magazine in. And start putting these bolts back. We're going to grab our number 4 and put these bolts back. And I'm going to take my other bolt right there. We got those tightened, so I'm going to grab my number 5 now. Put our cover on the side back on. And grab our side bolt. And tighten that bolt on the side of the magazine with the cover. And then we can tighten this one also. As soon as we got that down, we can go down to the back. All right, first things first, we're gonna go ahead and grab our plate O-ring. Grab our plate O-ring, we're gonna put that plate back in. Make sure it's sitting center. Has these little grooves inside, kind of. And you just set them right on top of them. After you get that done, you can go ahead and grab your spring. I like to clean them a little, these cylinder parts, just because they get super greasy and dirty. Just give it a little clean. Alright, as soon as that spring is back in, we can go ahead and grab our little cylinder head. And I like to clean these a little too. They get pretty nasty. As you see. Alright, we got that one pretty cleaned up. Good enough. And then you just put it right on top like that, and make sure when you put it back in, it's right through the center. And you just push it in with your fingers. And it went all the way through. Alright, so when it comes down to these O-rings on the cylinder part itself, I like to replace these 3, just because they tend to start air leaking after a while. And when it air leaks, then it's gonna go right through your nose or right on top of your head. You don't want that. Let's just go ahead and replace them. And I'm gonna show you. So we're gonna replace this big O-ring now. so we're gonna put this new O-ring on. All right, so we got the new O-rings on, a little cleaned up. We're gonna put it right back through the center in that spring. Should go on just like that. And then you take your headpiece of the cylinder and you put it right through the center. Make sure it clipped in all the sides. Let me take our bolts out. Put them here. As soon as we got that part done, we can go ahead and grab our gasket. And put the gasket right like that, right through the center. And then our new driver, since he didn't have a driver inside, I'm gonna go ahead and put him a new driver inside here. So I'm gonna go ahead and oil it. Put a little oil inside there. We're gonna put it right through the center. Always when you put it this way, a driver, you wanna have it facing down with the grooves towards your right hand side, basically, if you're standing this way. And you just put it right through that center. And it should slide in just like that, right in that cylinder. Then make sure you have your old gasket off and it's all cleaned up surface. Put your bolts back in through here. Put it right through the center. Grab your number 5. Tiny bolts. Alright, and that should be it. Let's go test it. And make sure there's no air leaks. First things I want to do, because it's a new body and freshly cleaned inside, I'm going to go ahead and grab my oil. Pour some oil in there, a couple drips. Put that to the side. Alright. I'm going to put our glasses on. And check it and make sure there's no air leaks going through. Alright, so we plugged it in. No air leaks. We're going to grab some nails and shoot it and make sure it shoots. So I got my nails. That's how you change your body, guys. This is obviously an older gun. Go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel. If you guys would like me to do a newer gun, an A5 body style, I can do that also. Just go ahead and comment below and let me know if you would like me to do it, or what else, what kind of other guns, or what kind of other problems, and I'll go ahead and do those videos. And then also I will be putting in the link below probably all the parts I just replaced, the gaskets, the O-rings, so you'll be able to purchase those if you need them. Alright guys, thank you, like and subscribe.